Welcome to the SymCast podcast, a production of Symplast EHR. My name is Jessica Wisner, and I am the product marketing manager here at Symplast. Today, I have the distinct pleasure of interviewing our new Director of Client Services, Margarita Santiler. Welcome to the podcast, Margarita. How are you?
Hey, Jess, I am so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I am glad to have you here. What you do in your role just is one of my passions about what we do here at Symplast. So I'm really excited, one, to have you on the team, and two, to kind of pick your brain a little bit about the future and how we're going to keep enhancing what we do. But first, I think we need to start off just getting to know you, right? So I've had the pleasure of getting to know you. Let's get the rest of our audience a little bit of a chance to get to know who you are and where you came from. So Margarita, the floor is yours. Who are you? Where do you come from? What's your favorite food? Let's have it.
Oh, hi, Jess. You're so funny. So I am Margarita Santiler, and I actually hail from Cuba via
Oh my gosh, I
Chicago.
didn't know that.
Yeah, via Miami. So I'm currently living in Miami. So favorite food, I just like all foods. So I'll just go with something else. Favorite activity, I love to fish. Seeing how I live in paradise, you have to learn to fish. So it's one of my favorite activities.
That's amazing. Well, and I was just talking with Michael Hervis, our new Vice President of Revenue, and his favorite is also fishing. So are you fishing the open sea, or are you more of the lakes and ponds and whatnot?
Well, both, but I don't have a boat, so I do a lot of bank fishing. So saltwater bank fishing, and our lakes and canals and ponds, bank fishing, I just enjoy it. So to relax, I'll throw the line out and watch it get tight.
Oh my gosh, brave soul. I can't fish. And a whole nother story for why that is, but I know a lot of people love it. So props to you. Hopefully you and Michael can get together at some point and go hit the water, and he can teach you some deep sea fishing, right?
That's right.
So no, one of the things that I want to do to get to know you as well, of course, is tell me about your background. You have such an interesting career trajectory to me. So let's share that a little bit with our audience here. Tell me about where'd you come from, how'd you get into client services, all that kind of good stuff.
Sure. So I actually started in the software as a service industry way back early in the early 2000s. I would say like around 1999, 1998, where I was working at a university and I helped bring in online learning. So I graduated with my master's, and I called them up and I said, I think you need to hire me, which they did. So I became
I love it when it works out that way.
It is. That was so much fun working there. So eventually, the company that I had worked for initially was called WebCT, Web Course Tools, and they were purchased by Blackboard. And so I continued my tenure with Blackboard, and I stayed with them for a very long time. So where I went from a regional trainer to a national trainer to a global trainer to directing all of our trainers globally for our entire product suite.
Amazing. Well, and my the thing I love to share every time you talk about Blackboard is that I was an early adopter back in that same time frame. I can remember online learning was very new when I was an undergrad, and doing online learning through Blackboard. So kind of cool to know that we kind of crossed paths, even though not really.
Absolutely.
But way back in the olden days, yes, I was an early adopter of the online learning, and just really cool to see how the space has evolved over the last couple of decades. We won't talk about how long ago, but a couple of decades. We're all still spring chickens over here.
I am.
I definitely. College was yesterday. So I think that's really interesting. And client services is such an interesting field, especially knowing that you've come from the education side. Moving into aesthetics is a little bit of a pivot. Talk to me a little bit about how that has been.
Oh, it's been so exciting because I just got back from Vegas for one of our conferences, and I met a lot of our clients and a lot of our potential clients. So listening to their stories and listening to their goals, it was so familiar to me. So it might be a different industry, but the goals and the expectations when you're implementing software are pretty similar. So it's different vocabulary for me, but I understand where they are in their journey.
Yeah, and that universal need
Mhm.
to be able to learn and adapt, especially technology is so fast paced, right? It's always evolving. And, definitely here at Symplast, we're no exception to that as we're always improving and iterating on our product. So to know that that is it's such a universal language is really interesting to me.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the beautiful things I love about Symplast is that we are always evolving
Mhm.
from your customer success representative to all the way through product. Every department in this organization just thrives to learn and grow. And we bring that same energy and passion to our client base. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
and I think
think
that's a really good spot to pivot here. One of the other things I want to talk to you about is the idea of concierge level service, right? I know that's one of the things that drew me to Symplast back when I was on the practice side. It's just the way that clients are serviced here, and I definitely felt that when I was on the client side, and then I got to transition into being part of that service model. Talk to me a little bit about, that concierge service, what that means to you, what we're doing now, and how you hope to iterate and expand on that in the future.
Sure. So absolutely, concierge service, white glove service. It's really important for us in our industry as our practices provide their patients with that level of one-on-one customized solutions. So do we here at Symplast. So we're expanding on that. I joined Symplast with a beautiful foundation of that concierge perspective in everything that we do. So we're just going to level it up and continue to expand on that each and every day. So we're constantly growing and changing and tweaking all of our processes.
Yeah, and I think, to move into kind of the scope of everything that you do, one of the areas you and I have discussed multiple times over the last few weeks is our support stats. So, where we are currently and things we're building in the future that are going to enhance this. You and I were meeting with Wayne, our fantastic, manager over there on the client support side. And if you all have not met Wayne yet, meet him and say hi next time you call the support hotline. He's phenomenal. And his team is phenomenal, frankly. But Wayne was running some numbers and he brought them to us. And I know I was floored, and I don't know how floored you were, but to see that our average phone call response time was less than a minute and a half, and in many cases, under a minute.
Absolutely. So one of the things I asked when I joined was, show me the numbers, show me where we're at with support. And he had already been running some data. So we went ahead and expanded on that data and then came to see that our customers are actually waiting less than a minute on average. Some weeks are a minute and a half, some weeks are less than 60 seconds. And there was a couple of times there was 32 seconds, which blew me away.
It's
So
amazing.
they're continuously reevaluating what they do, how they do, and how to improve on their own processes. That's to me is quality concierge service.
Yeah, and it's not only like how fast are they answering the phone, but how are they servicing the client on that call. And I think we started to look a little bit too at numbers of how quickly we're closing tickets, even for clients. Yes.
Absolutely. We on the average close 99.9% of our tickets on a daily basis. That might be an exaggeration. So I would go 98. So most of our tickets do get closed throughout every day. Whether it's a phone call, whether it's an email, they're able to solve the problems right there and then. And let me
Amazing.
add to that our surveys are right up there to a level 5. Between
Oh,
4.75 and 5 has been the average survey results from our customer support team. So our practices love our services.
yeah, and I think our support really is definitely, one of those differentiating factors. So to hear that, we've got that testimonial and the numbers, the proof is in the pudding, right? Uh, just so fantastic to have that validation that what we're doing. And I know, I'm sure you heard it when you were in Vegas, how much people love our support model. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
They, to the point where they are even actually calling out our staff members, whether it's
I love that.
it was the customer success managers, or it was their onboarding specialist, or it was their product specialist, and even their support. They knew these people by name. That really blew me away.
I love that. When I was on the client side, Ben and Jose were my guys. Ben and Jose. I knew them. Granted, this was years ago, and they're both still here, and they're both still phenomenal. But yes, absolutely, I can testify to that. So to kind of pivot a little bit, and much more to come on the support side. I know we've got some new fun AI things we're going to be doing over there as well to enhance that side of it. So a little teaser there for everyone. Margarita, do you want to add to that teaser, or shall we leave that as it is?
Well, we'll leave that as it is. It's just that we will be implementing it really soon. So keep an eye out on the support side. We're adding additional resources for you to have that level of concierge service.
Yeah, very exciting stuff happening over there. So to move on to, your position oversees everything related to client services, and you kind of touched on all the different roles that you oversee. One of which that's near and dear to my heart is the client success managers. Many of our listeners may or may not know me from my time over there. Being part of that first iteration of that evolution that we've had in our service of adding that client success manager role. Talk to me a little bit about what the client success manager's role is for the practice and how that is enhancing how we service them.
Sure. So here at Symplast, the customer success manager role is really your trusted advisor. They're your business partner. They're there to help you understand your strategies and your goals and how best to implement them with the Symplast product. So think of them as your consultants. They're out to help you grow and expand your business with the implementation of Symplast side by side.
Yeah, and that doesn't just end during onboarding, right? That's
Absolutely
the
not.
lifetime of their account. That client success manager is there.
Absolutely.
By staff.
Absolutely. So here at Symplast, you'll meet your customer success manager if you're a potential client, you're evaluating the solution for your practice. You're going to meet them during that sales process, and they'll continue on from your entire life cycle of Symplast. So pre-sales, onboarding, to the rest of your journey with Symplast. They're here to help you.
I love that so much. And, I still I miss my time over there because I think it's such a fun role and to be able to work so closely with the practices. So as much as I love what I do over here, of course, running the podcast and all that over in marketing, and you and I have several joint ventures that we're starting together as well, that leads into kind of the next area that you oversee, which is our product specialists. Let's talk a little bit about what the product specialist role is and how that's different from, say, a client success manager or a support person.
Sure. So the product specialist role is your product master or your product guru. They know everything, the ins and outs of the product. They're here to help educate you as you grow in your implementation. They're there to help you grow. And it's just not the face-to-face training or virtual training, it's additional content. So one of the projects we're working on is enhancing our Symplast University, and our product specialists are your experts in that content.
Yeah, so that's, that joint venture I was teasing at there that you and I are going to be doing together is to kind of take what we already have in Symplast University and use, of course, your background in education to enhance that and kind of spin it into something new. I think Symplast Academy is the term you and I have been tossing around. Let's talk a little bit about that. What is the difference that we're going to bring or that you envision us bringing as we work on this partnership together to enhance Symplast University and turn it into an academy? What does that mean?
Well, to me, that means able to modularize your learning into just-in-time content. and to make sure that you understand that content through multitude of medium. So not just a video or not just text. We're going to have some interactivity with our content as well as an assessment. And as you grow and learn from the modular sections of Symplast, then you too get to have your certificate of completion. Just like our practices have to attend conferences for their continuing credits, you'll be doing the same thing with our academy.
Amazing. And I think it's that just-in-time learning concept, I think, is where it really speaks to me, where it's not enough to say, okay, I showed you the app and all of its nooks and crannies. It's about, how do I get you the learning that you need in the moment that you need it, that's
Absolutely.
focused on that specific area that you're in. So lots of cool stuff happening there. And I don't want to give the farm away. So we could talk about that more another day, and maybe even do a separate podcast. Margarita, you and I should come back and talk about that when we're about to launch it. But the Symplast Academy is going to be really revolutionary, and I can't wait to roll that out. We've got lots going on behind the scenes with that. So then kind of moving into that, learning a new platform when you have software as a service, the SaaS industry, as it were, that we are in. Learning a new platform and adopting a new platform can be quite a lift. And that's where the onboarding experience comes in. And you also oversee the onboarding process.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about the onboarding process, where it is now, and how we're already working to kind of improve it and get that value to clients better, so that, coming on to Symplast is like easy as, clicking a button, I guess.
Absolutely. So our onboarding product specialists or onboarding specialists are part of your journey when you come and join the Symplast family. I spoke about the customer success managers. They're there at the pre-sales. They're there once you sign the contract. They're there throughout your onboarding journey, through your education, through the rest of your life. Your onboarding specialists are there too, just at the point where you sign your contract, and then all the way to the point that you go live. They're your I would call the customer success managers are your right arm, and your onboarding specialists are your left arm. They're together helping you understand your workflow processes as you do them today, and how they convert into a Symplast feature functionality or best practice. Your product specialists are in conjunction with your onboarding specialists so that they can help educate you through your process.
Yeah. And, the onboarding specialist, it does a lot, right? So it's a
Absolutely.
project manager, and one of those key components that I know is always a point during the onboarding process that can definitely lead to some sleepless nights for practices, is that data migration process. Because migrating your data from one platform to another, if you're an existing client, can be kind of stressful. So what kind of insights can you give as far as like how we do that, and what the onboarding specialist role is within that to make that process
Sure.
seamless?
So they're, as you stated, they're your project managers, but they're also your admins. They're the ones that are going to help you configure your implementation of Symplast. They're going to help with your data migration from your other EHR system to our Symplast system. They'll work with DevOps. They'll work with product to ensure that your data is within the Symplast system in a timely manner and correct. So they too are your trusted advisor through your onboarding process.
Yeah, I love that so much. And it's such a critical role, to have a good, solid onboarding specialist. And I think it really, the way that Symplast has evolved, the support model really speaks to the concept of it takes a village, right? Um,
Absolutely.
and I love the way that it's evolved, especially within the last year or so, as we've really dug into that new infrastructure and the way that it's helping to service our clients better, not just having a single person that knows everything and does everything, but to being, which it worked very well at the time, right? And I know this was before you came here, and it worked well at the time, but things are evolving when we realized that, we wanted to enhance that we really needed to kind of specialize within those roles. And I think that's really fascinating how we're doing it. And I can't wait to see what you do and take from your experience prior to coming to Symplast to really revolutionize that even further.
Well, I'm excited to continue to partner with all the different departments within Symplast. So you were talking about the CSM role, which was a generalized role,
Mm-hmm.
which was, it's a great, it works, but it doesn't give the individual enough bandwidth to become experts at what they do. And so we have branched out into the entire organization and brought in those specialists to help our clients in their onboarding process get the best care possible, because you want top-notch knowledge. And so we know who those people are and what departments they come from, and they're part of your journey throughout your entire time here at Symplast. So once you're done with onboarding, you don't lose those expertise, because we still have relationships with those individuals. And as you continue to grow and expand your implementation, these individuals come into play.
Yeah, it's so phenomenal. So one of the last things that I kind of wanted to go over with you is, we're kind of getting to time here.
Sure.
And I know you and we could talk for hours. Truthfully, we could talk for hours. So I got to kind of keep it under wraps. But one of the things that you are doing, an initiative as part of your role, is to really enhance our client feedback loop. And we have several individuals within the organization that are doing that. I am included on the products and the marketing side, doing specific feedback related to product as part of our client advisory board. But you have your own client feedback loop that you're starting to establish and are about to roll out. Let's tell everyone a little bit about that.
Sure. So I invite you all to book some time with me. I welcome an opportunity to chat, listen to your story, listen to your ideas, because Symplast was created by you all, and we continue to grow and expand because of you and your ideas. We're just the people who put the wheels to motion and move it forward. I actually started this at the conference and met with several of our clients, loved listening to their stories, and they had some really great ideas of what they want to see next from services. So please, I welcome you. Book an appointment with me.
Yeah, so I'll make sure that when we send out this SymCast, anyone that's on our email list that is an existing client, who must be an existing client to meet with Margarita, of course, that you'll get the opportunity to book with her. There are limited openings, so it is first come, first serve. But and we'll do some direct outreach to a couple of individuals as well, I am sure. But I know I'm really excited that you, myself, and I believe Michael, we are all part of that advisory panel to get that feedback from our clients and to really use it to help direct how we evolve Symplast moving forward.
Absolutely.
And I think it's so phenomenal. So I'm excited to be part of it. I'm excited for all of the initiatives that you and I are doing together, as well as watching the other initiatives that you have going on over there. But Margarita, any parting thoughts before I wrap this up?
Just thank you so much, Jess, for giving me the opportunity to speak with you and to speak to everyone out there watching this podcast. These are exciting times here at Symplast, and I can guarantee we are not walking, we are running. So come join us.
Yeah, I love that so much. We are definitely running, but we are well trained for the marathon, I think. That's what it comes down to.
Well, as a retired endurance racer, I can tell you, I don't walk.
I don't run, but I'm a speed walker. I'm a Chicago girl, and I will speed walk against anyone.
There you go.
So, but Margarita, thank you so much for your time today and for carving out, a good half hour in your schedule just to chat with me, talk shop, as it were, which is one of my favorite hobbies, frankly, which is why we're doing this podcast. But hopefully everyone has the opportunity to meet with you at some point in the near future, just for 30 minutes to chat about, what's going well with Symplast and what you think could make it better. We want to hear. So existing clients, please look for that email link to schedule with Margarita. Margarita, thank you again for your time. And we'll definitely have to come back and do this again when the Symplast Academy rolls out.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And we will see you all on the next Symplast podcast.
Thank you, Jess. Bye, everyone.
Bye.